You found me once, John Winchester. I have faith you'll do it again.
Hello, this is Art Gaines, and today I'm reviewing episode 3 of The Winchesters. I think this will be a rather short review because I don't really have anything to say about this episode except that it is really good. The storytelling, the acting, the special effects, all of it was very competently put together. It had a very classic television feel to it, in my opinion, like something that was made in the 90s, and that's a compliment. Very compact, very straightforward, with nothing particularly weird about it. The characters behaved and talked to each other like normal people, at least by television standards. Excellent drama, excellent building of suspense. The characters are likable. The acting out of the guest villain was particularly remarkable, and there was nothing particularly woke going on. I mean, I would prefer a little bit more masculine energy, but you take what you can get, I suppose. John got to behave in a masculine manner without getting put down. The story uplifts the desire to live a normal life, which is quite remarkable. Usually entertainment promotes the idea of striving to be different, by which, of course, that's code language, of course, for something else. And it's nice to see a show promoting, like I said, the desire to be normal, the desire to live a normal life. Typical X-Files style opening again, quite good. We're introduced to some ordinary people and something utterly bizarre happens to them. There's some sort of Indian Krampus monster that's abducting people. I wasn't clear on whether it just abducts children or not because Mary gets abducted. But I think it's some sort of monster that feeds on people's fear of letting go. I don't know, something like that. They tie it into the larger theme of the series quite well. What an Indian Krampus is doing in the States, I don't really know, but I don't really care because the story is really good.
Last time I talked to my dad, we got into a really huge argument about quitting hunting. And
Mary's father, who was played by Mitch Pileggi in the original series, wants Mary to quit hunting and live a normal life. At least I think that's what's going on. And I don't think Mary is entirely opposed to that idea, but hunting is all she's ever known. She was raised to be a hunter. And what I'd like to think is that her father regrets raising her in that way. And I can think of some real-world scenarios which somewhat reflect this scenario, such as parents who raise their daughters to be career women, for instance. So that's sort of what I'm reading in this.
Yeah, a movie. Do you want me to check what's playing?
well, you can take a break if you need to. You can see the Omega Man. But I'm gonna check in with Ada, see if she knows something.
A swing and a miss. Can relate.
John?
Betty. Hi. You're a cop.
No flies on you, huh?
Betty, apparently, is a girl to whom John proposed before he went off to Vietnam, though they didn't keep in touch while he was away. You know, I've been approaching this story from the perspective that, of course, John and Mary are going to end up together. But of course, the characters don't know that. It occurs to me that it would be really terrible if it turns out that this John Winchester is not the same John Winchester from Supernatural. Because although that might explain some of the discrepancies between this show and the original show, that would be a really terrible way to go about it. I'd rather they just run with the retconning. They could also explain it through memory loss or something, but I also hope they don't do that.
Is that I'm really glad you got home safe, Johnny.
Thanks, Betty.
I am struggling a little bit in this episode to remember that it's set in 1978. But that makes me wonder, you know, if I was transported back in time to 1978, would I be able to tell that I was 40 years in the past just by looking around? I don't know.
Sometimes I'd fall asleep listening to the truckers. It always made me wonder what it would be like to have a normal life.
I wish more people strove for and aspired to a normal life. Our society would probably be in a bit of a better place right now if they did. Funny story, a few years ago I was at a movie theater and there was some sort of car advertisement, I think, and the narrator said something like, "Who wants to be normal?" And I and I felt like putting up my hand and saying, "Me, I do. That would be great."
I mean, what did Mary Campbell want to be when she grew up? Doctor, lawyer, an astronaut.
Housewife?
Being a kid who killed monsters was my only option.
You know, I'm pretty sure that a lot of young women today could probably say something very similar about pursuing a career. If their parents didn't actively encourage them to pursue it, then they weren't sufficiently discouraged from postponing things that are more important, like starting a family. The monster this week is a considerable improvement over the one from last week, in my opinion.
Muchas gracias for ending my pain, amigo. Allow me to start yours.
Holy water! I'm way out of your league, Slick.
The scenes with this mutton chop guy are pretty awesome.
Toss me.
Major improvement on the fight scenes this week. Hope we get more of this sort of thing.
Carrie?
You know, the simplicity of this is kind of refreshing compared to all these really convoluted sort of stories that a lot of shows are trying to tell right now. This is can't go wrong with simple stuff like this.
Just missed him. Actually, Mary took forward on a snack run, so. They walked.
Good visual storytelling. Not everything has to be spelled out in the dialogue. Normal, red-blooded, protective behavior from a man. That's the way to get the female audience invested.
For centuries.
Don't look at me, dude. This one's full of surprises today. I mean, she could have 100 demons in that tree for all I know.
Once the spell is started.
This scene really sticks out. I hope we get more stuff like this. It really demonstrates how little of a budget you need if you have a good story. I'm thinking of you, Rings of Power. I mean, this scene could literally have been filmed by a group of film school students on a DSLR with some special effects added in After Effects.
One drop.
Wait. What exactly do you want to know?
So this guy, this demon character, he knows something about the Akrita. And he confirms something that was implied in the previous episode, that the Akrita have been involved somehow with a lot of the cases that the main characters have been dealing with lately.
Who's the leader pretending to be?
I said I didn't know.
Give us a name.
Some woman, all right? That's all I know. Now, exorcise me and send me back home already.
So it looks like I was right about that woman who appeared at the end of the last episode, that she's some sort of avatar for the Akrita.
Maybe the hat doesn't represent your dad, okay? Maybe it represents something else that you're struggling to let go of.
Like?
Feminism? Career goals?
Like the search for him or what comes after.
Normal life? Family? That sort of thing?
If we find my dad, then I'm done hunting. And hunting is all I have.
Ladies, it's not true. There is more to life than work. I might be totally reading into this, something that was not intended.
I like seeing movies alone.
Same here.
But here's a crazy idea. Want to see this movie alone together?
Why not?
You know, it's a very different sort of society where you can trust some person you just randomly met. Were things really like that in 1978? I don't know. I think it's probably preferable to live in a society like that, but it's not really possible today, not with multiculturalism and relativism and all that sort of BS going on. You have to be able to expect that random people you meet on the street will have a common set of values to yourself. And like I said, I'm not sure that actually really existed in 1978, but societies like that have existed. Mary's trying to embrace the reality that it's okay to live a normal life, and that is kind of awesome. That ticket vendor, that's quite an expression there.
So, who is she?
This is Rockin' Roxy.
This speaks for itself. This is A+ competent storytelling, in my opinion. Some of the fellows over at Friday Night Tights, like Gary Buechler, have been wondering whether the recent uptick in quality storytelling in certain shows recently is indicative of a sort of sea change in the entertainment industry. They're hoping that that a lot of the woke trends are going to dissipate now. In my opinion, however, I think that is wishful thinking. It might be encouraging to see a slight uptick in quality in certain shows recently, but the reality is that if the woke isn't sent to Siberia or something, so to speak, in Minecraft, it will just come back eventually with a vengeance. As long as those woke individuals are still working in the industry, they will continue to double down and drag our entertainment into perdition. Hashtag McCarthyism now.
I'm gonna tell you all the things my heart had been a-dying.
Alright, that's it. I'm Art Gaines. Please take note of the links in the description, the other places where you can find me, because you can never know how much you can depend on any one platform. I'm on BitChute, Rumble, and Gab, and if you want to continue to find me, you should probably bookmark those locations. Also, in the description, you'll find a link to an audiobook I've written called The Lure, which you might like. There's also a text version available. I'm currently working on another short story, which hopefully will be available before too long. Please like, share, and subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Thanks for watching.